Hello, and welcome to Select 10. In this video, we'll explore the thrilling realm of action movies with our selected list of the top 10 most underappreciated movies. These adrenaline-pumping thrill rides, which vary from underappreciated classics to hidden gems, offer non-stop thrills and breathtaking action. So grab a seat and get ready for an exciting cinematic experience that will leave you wanting more. These are some of the best films that should be on every film enthusiast's watch list. Now let's start the video. Number 10. Sabotage. It is a 2014 action thriller film directed by David Ayer. The main character of the story is John Breacher Wharton, the leader of an exceptional task team that routinely steals drug lords' money amid raids. However, as they go to carry out their most recent robbery, they discover that millions of dollars have vanished from their stockpile, while the group's members are being ruthlessly murdered, with suspicions raised against one another. The plot keeps you wondering as the squad members are eliminated one by one, resulting in an anxious mood of mistrust and risk, while the team attempts to solve the puzzle to stay alive and discover the whole truth surrounding the stolen cash. While the plot can be confusing sometimes, the film compensates with non-stop thrilling action and outstanding work from its actors. Sabotage is an all-around good action film that will amaze and excite fans of Arnold Schwarzenegger and high-octane action flicks. Number 9. Bunraku. It is a 2010 martial arts action film directed by Guy Moche. This was an innovative and graphically stunning action fantasy film of its time. While its CGI is decent in comparison to today's modern action blockbusters, this one is worth seeing if you enjoy action and unique films. The story takes place in the modern era and centers on a man named Drifter who travels to an enigmatic town run by Nikola, a merciless criminal boss. Meanwhile, the interesting part is that there are no guns in the town, and conflict is resolved by medieval hand-to-hand fighting methods. Soon, the Drifter allies up with Yashi, a Japanese soldier and bartender, to take on Nikola and his horde of goons. The film's visually arresting cinematography, intricate set concepts, and well-choreographed battle scenes are its main points of strength. Its distinctive genre blending and creative flair all contribute to the film's engaging and unforgettable viewing pleasure. All things considered, Bunraku is a beautifully shot and artistically daring film that will intrigue viewers who value cinematic innovation, as well as lovers of sleek action flicks. Number 8. Bloodfather. It is a 2016 action crime thriller film directed by Jean-François Richet. The story centers on John, a former criminal who is now living quietly in an RV home and has been making an effort to lead an ordinary life. However, John's calm life is interrupted when his distant teenage child, Lydia, arrives, requesting his assistance. Meanwhile, Lydia is hiding from drug lords after inadvertently killing her violent partner Jonah. Before long, they are compelled to flee together, and John makes use of his prior knowledge and contacts to protect them from the vicious criminal gang that is hell-bent on looking for Lydia. The narrative delves into themes of atonement, familial ties, and the aftermath of one's previous deeds, as John is forced to make tough decisions in order to protect his daughter. Gibson's tough portrayal propels the film's dramatic action scenes, and the father-daughter bond gives the narrative a profound impact. It's a fascinating story of survival and forgiveness that keeps viewers interested from beginning to end. Number 7. Versus. It is a 2000 zombie action film directed by Ryuhei Kitamura. The story centers on two released inmates who end up in the enigmatic Forest of Rebirth, a place where people believe dead people have come back to life. As they move through the jungle, they come upon a bunch of Yakuza thugs controlled by an influential gang leader. Unaware that the forest serves as a battlefield for an ancient prediction, they find themselves embroiled in a supernatural struggle. Since the movie is rather old and appears out of date in today's world, many of you are unlikely to be seeing it. However, if you're the kind of person who prefers watching movies for their entertainment value rather than their year of release and special effects, check this one out. The film revolves around the characters' battles with the Yakuza and the reborn dead, which results in action-packed scenes, gunfights, and martial arts fights. The excessive violence in this movie is its primary appeal and has made it a cult favorite among action and horror moviegoers. Number 6. The Salvation. It is a 2014 Western action film directed by Christian Levering. The story takes place in the American former West in the year 1870 and follows John, a Danish immigrant who is now living in America with his sibling Peter. After a long wait, John's wife and kid from Denmark arrive, bringing his family back together. However, their happiness is short-lived as they get ambushed by a gang under the vicious leadership of Delarue, and the assault kills John's family, triggering his desire to exact revenge. The rest of the movie continues as John starts looking for the people who killed his family and gets involved in a fight with De La Rue and his band of criminals who use violence and dread to rule the town and its people. The film is a dark and moody western that delivers an intense punch and delves into topics of justice, wrath, and salvation as John battles the evil within himself while pursuing vengeance for his family's murder. With its elegant photography, violent action sequences, and captivating performances, notably by Mikkelsen and Eva Green, the film offers a suspenseful and thrilling story from start to the end. Number 5. Contraband. It is a 2012 action thriller film directed by Baltasar Kormakur. The main character of the story is Chris Faraday, an old drug dealer who placed his illegal past behind him in order to raise a family and operate a lawful business. Nevertheless, Chris is compelled to return to the business of trafficking in order to save his family after his brother-in-law Andy gets involved with a vicious narcotics king named Tim Briggs. So now Chris has no choice but to carry out a dangerous trafficking operation to repay Andy's debt and save his family. In order to accomplish the task, Chris gathers a group of people, sets out on a risky mission to transport fake money, and is forced to use all of his cunning and abilities to stay safe for his family while navigating dangerous waters and dodging cruel criminals and officials. In addition to thrilling action scenes and unexpected turns, the movie features a rapid storyline and skillfully performed action scenes that provide an exhilarating journey that is going to keep audiences glued to their seats right up to the very end. Number 4. Unleashed. It is a 2005 action thriller film directed by Louis Leterrier. The story revolves around Danny, a man who was nurtured by Bart, a vicious crime boss. Trained to be a deadly combatant, Bart uses Danny as a tool to scare and destroy his opponents while keeping him on a chain. However, Danny breaks free from Bart's hold one day during an encounter with another criminal group and seeks safety with Sam, a blind piano operator. As Danny makes an effort to move on from his brutal past and start over, Bart is desperate to get his favorite warrior back and will do anything it takes to do so. As the threat approaches, Danny has to face his history and save those he loves from Bart's unforgiving anger. Jet Li's acting and martial arts skills are on full display in this intensely emotional action thriller. The film features numerous exciting action sequences, as well as a gripping tale that delves into issues of identity, atonement, and the strength of mercy. Unleashed is an exceptional action film that appeals to the viscera and the emotions with its suspenseful action, heartbreaking scenes, and outstanding performances from the cast. Number 3. The Outsider. It is a 2018 action thriller film directed by Martin Zandvliet. The movie is set in Japan following the end of World War II and centers on Nick Lowell, a U.S. soldier who gets entangled in the Yakuza's violent underworld. Following his imprisonment in Japan throughout the war, Nick gains the trust and admiration of Kiyoshi, a Yakuza leader, who ultimately saves his life. Nick decides to become part of the Yakuza after being freed, and owing to his bravery and devotion, he moves up the rankings. However, as Nick gets more closely associated with the Yakuza, his elevated status also puts him in confrontation with other groups within the Yakuza and attracts the attention of law authorities. As rivalries rise, Nick must negotiate the hazardous realm of criminal networks while overcoming obstacles to his survival, respect, and allegiance. The Outsider is a gripping and dramatic examination of the complexity of post-war Japan and the Yakuza underworld with its raw ambience, solid acting, and evocative photography. Though the action is little, it nevertheless wonderfully complements the plot it tells. Number 2. Undisputed 2. It is a 2006 martial arts action film directed by Isaac Florentine. Perhaps the most underappreciated action movie you've never heard of. If you prefer violent and raw action to over-the-top or CGI action, this is the film for you. The plot revolves around George, an old heavyweight fighting champ who is now serving time in jail for an offense he never committed. After being brought up in prison, he learns about the underground combat culture and meets Yuri Boyka, a cunning and accomplished fighter who views Chambers as a chance to establish himself. Chambers and Boyka compete in a string of rough and furious fights as the tournament goes on, displaying their skill in fighting techniques and will to win. Along the way, they have to cope with crooked jail administrators and competing combatants who will stop at nothing to achieve their own objectives. The movie features great fight scenes that are a stunner in the martial arts action genre. The film shines thanks to its powerful fight choreography, which highlights both performers' abilities in thrilling fight sequences. Fans of martial arts and hand-to-hand fighting action should not miss it. Number 1. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. It is a 2015 spy action film directed by Guy Ritchie. The story revolves around two operatives from different sides who must cooperate to prevent a criminal group from getting weapons of mass destruction in the 1960s war period. The one is CIA agent Napoleon Solo, while Ilya Kuryakin is a brilliant KGB agent. Despite their early enmity, they are forced to work together by their separate organizations, with the goal of stopping an affluent millionaire called Gaby Teller from ending up in the clutches of Victoria Vinciguerra's evil enterprise. The two set out on a mission to protect Gaby, while they must maneuver via risky heists, complex lies, and high-stakes surveillance in order to learn the truth about the criminal organization's schemes and stop them. The film pays tribute to the espionage genre of the 1960s while injecting it with modern influences. It masterfully blends sleek action sequences with humorous banter and nostalgic visuals, presenting a stylish and enjoyable interpretation of the traditional spy thriller, backed by its engaging plot, elegant direction, and dynamic cast. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.